find that? Yeah, it's hard to do it.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably moving around so you can get a better view now, like me. Now, the first thing to say is they parked up so they can protect the scene. That means if there's any cars on the road that they're not going to affect our firefighters. There's a bit of a stampede as everybody's going around.
Right, I'll stand in.
Now, the crew that are doing this demonstration for you today are Crawley's retained section. These guys are people that live or work in the local community about 4 minutes away from the fire station, and they don't work here during the normal working hours. They're on call, so when they come in, they carry a small pager which is set off like a little bleeper, and they'll respond to the station, call the appliance, and they do everything that our other firefighters do, our whole-time firefighters do, so they're fully trained in the use of all their equipment. What they're doing now is just making the scene safe. So you can see that they're putting some blocks and wedges around the vehicle. That's to stop it rolling away, to make it nice and stable, so when they start cutting it up, it's not going to roll off down the road or it's not going to hurt anybody. And you can see the paramedics are in attendance straight away. Now the big danger here is that the young lady's hurt her neck, and to prevent any further injury there, they're putting a collar on her just to stop her head moving at all. The other firefighters are putting out some firefighting equipment because there's a danger that the vehicle could burst into flames after the accident. So we've got a hose out that you can see and a fire extinguisher. And another 2 members of the crew are getting the cutting equipment ready to go. In this kind of situation, what we need to do is make some space. Often the casualties trapped inside, physically trapped, their legs or their feet are caught. So we need to make some space to actually get them out. And in this particular case, what we're going to do is we're going to take the roof off the vehicle to make a nice open space so that we can take the casualty out. Okay, what we do here is we speak to the paramedics and we decide on the best way to take the casualty out. And in this case, we're starting at the front there, and we're going to cut around all the posts on the roof, and then there'll be one last cut in front of the casualty before the roof comes off. What they're doing now is just putting some protection in place so that any bits of glass or metal that fly off won't hurt the casualty, won't make them any worse. The paramedics now putting some oxygen on the casualty, and they'll also be checking their pulse ox and their blood pressure, possibly giving them some painkillers as well if they're in some distress.
Push them out.
You can probably see they've just put like a cover over the steering wheel, and what that is called a bag buster. So if the vehicle has an airbag, when we start cutting, there's a danger that the airbag can go off, and that's designed just to not stop the airbag, but to actually stop it coming into the vehicle, so it punctures it as soon as it goes off, and that just protects the firefighters and the driver as well. So we're starting to make some cuts around the vehicle now. You see the tool's incredibly powerful, certainly wouldn't want to get your fingers caught in there. And you see that post at the back they're cutting, it's quite a thick one, so they needed to make a couple of cuts to get through that one. That's not unusual. What we're trying to do here is get a casualty out within about 20 minutes. Once somebody's had a serious accident, their best chances of survival are within the first hour. So we've got an hour, and that's to get there, to get them out, and then to get them back to hospital where they're going to receive some definitive care. So all the time the clock's running really. So our part of that job, we've got about 20 minutes. So sometimes we've really got our work cut out to get the casualty out in that time. Okay, what they're doing there is they're making sure that they're all the way through before they move on to the next cut. The last thing we want to happen is for a maybe small piece of metal there and we think we've got the roof off, we go to lift it, we find that it's still attached. So every time they make a cut they're checking just to make sure that the cut's gone all the way through and it's a nice clean cut. So they're continuing with the cuts now, and all this time we'll be speaking to the paramedics to find out how the casualty is. Sometimes we'll find that the casualty needs some urgent attention, and that means we have to speed up our activities a little bit, and perhaps they don't come out how we originally planned. So it's really important that we constantly talk to the medical staff, because we're really guided by them. We call that casualty-centred rescue. Make sure that everything we do now is just for the casualty's benefit. Okay, we're just making the last few cuts now before the roof is free. Okay, so the last cut there, lift the roof nice and high, just make sure there's some sharp edges there, so we really want to protect the crews and the casualty, put that right out of the way. Now they're going to clear all the tools out of the way and assist with removing the casualty. I spoke about those sharp edges, so the guys now are just going to put some pads in to protect themselves and the casualty there, some sharps protection.